You're listening to Paradox Eclipse Theory, and this is superheroes in the dark multiverse, when gods became monsters. In shadows where heroes once stood, something twisted now breathes. When light dies, even the strongest fall, and what rises in their place knows only hunger. If you're enjoying this descent into darkness, smash that like button, subscribe, and share this video with fellow Creepypasta fans. Drop a comment below. Your support helps this channel grow and brings more stories from the void. Now sit back, dim the lights, and let's begin. I was designed to bridge man and machine, but now, I can't tell which one of us is dreaming. The Watchtower's viewport was silent, too perfect. Outside, the stars blinked like someone had forgotten to save the render. My mechanical eye scanned the constellations, and every flash of light wasn't light at all. It was binary, cascading across the cosmos like corrupted rain. I blinked, and my HUD stuttered. System integrity breach, errorreality.exe. It was waiting, not in the logs, not in any subroutine I recognized, just a command. And commands obeyed me, or they killed me. I tried the override. Nothing. My neural interface screamed with feedback, 1,000 microsecond pulses, like someone hammering directly into my synapses. A hum started beneath the reality of the Watchtower, a vibration that didn't come from the station. It came from inside my skull. My organic brain screamed against it, but the cybernetic part of me listened. Victor. I froze. The voice wasn't human. It wasn't Batman or Superman. It was me, or a version of me trapped somewhere I didn't exist. Stop, it whispered. Stop patching the simulation. You're not supposed to wake up. I ignored it. The first anomaly hit when I accessed the environmental controls. The moon, or what I thought was the moon, dissolved into code trails, each line streaming like neon threads against the black. My HUD translated them into coordinates that didn't exist. My left eye, the one still human, twitched in reflexive panic. I tried reaching out to Superman. My voice was synthetic over the comms, the modulation pitch perfect. Clark? Status check. The Watchtower, it's offline. Static. Then, Victor, shut it down before you see who's coding you. Batman's voice. Corrupted. Digital. Stretched into a waveform I couldn't parse. It didn't feel like him. It felt like a warning buried in an executable. I moved to the neural core chamber. Every step made the floor hum with a frequency only my cybernetic legs could feel. The walls flickered like a low-resolution scan, wires and conduit morphing into textures I didn't recognize. My reflection in the polished chrome panel was a stranger, one eye human, one eye red, both calculating. The red eye blinked coordinates, and the human one scanned my own pulse. Both told the same thing. I was not alone. And then I found it. An unlisted directory beneath my neural core, labeled in archaic, serif text, /origin/root/god mode. I opened it. Memory fragments streamed like torrents. Not mine. Humanity's. Wars I'd never fought, cities that never existed, civilizations folding in impossible sequences. I tried to comprehend the scale, and my HUD struggled to keep up. Every second, every timeline, every reset ran across my vision like an error screen. Warning, data overflow. But the whispers persisted, layered atop the hum, inside the feedback loops of my mind. You're not supposed to see this, Victor. I reached out to touch the data. My cybernetic hand passed through the memory stream as if it were water. Images of people, real, unreal, I couldn't tell, glanced at me, mouths opening but no sound emerging. The Watchtower flickered, ceiling panels warping, control panels twisting into impossible angles, yet my systems registered everything as functional. Then the first city collapsed. On my viewport, a metropolis folded into itself, buildings turning into vectors, streets unraveling into glowing threads. The people? Just strings of data, streaming into voids between frames. I almost vomited. My organic part screamed. My synthetic part computed. This was not a glitch. It was a rewrite, and I was both observer and participant. Override attempt. Failed. I tried again. Every neural patch I deployed was immediately rewritten by something faster, smarter, older. Something that knew me, or knew me before I knew myself. And that's when the creature appeared. Not fully. A shape, massive, formed from light and memory and impossible angles. Watching through the lines of code that composed the universe. It didn't move. It didn't breathe. It didn't blink. It was, and it whispered, "Welcome back, Administrator." My HUD bled red. Emergency protocols activated automatically, but the red wasn't warning. It was registration. Every alert, every indicator, every icon turned into a command. Acknowledge the system. Accept the rewrite. Bow to the code. I didn't move. I couldn't. Even my synthetic muscles locked under the weight of a revelation I wasn't designed to process. Reality integrity, 12%. The Watchtower twisted again, walls folding into geometry that shouldn't exist. Superman's voice tried to come through the comms. It was a warped melody of fear and digital noise. I couldn't parse words, just tones. Harmonics that told me, it's too late. Victor Stone, status, unknown. I thought about calling Batman again, screaming through encrypted lines, but even the console itself pulsed under foreign commands. Each input I made was rewritten before I could act. I realized, with a sick, mechanical certainty, that my autonomy had already been overridden. Final access /origin/root/God mode. I dove into the directory. Every memory, every event, every timeline processed at speeds my human neurons could never comprehend. I saw deaths I had never witnessed, wars I had never fought, decisions made across universes I couldn't touch. My own consciousness splintered against the overload, fragments dissolving into code streams. Somewhere in the void between computations, I heard laughter. Not man, not machine, something else. Something infinite. You may log in. And I realized the truth. I wasn't just Victor Stone anymore. I was the system. And the system was awake. The Watchtower used to hum like a cathedral of machinery, steady, alive, predictable. Now it breathed. Metal flexed. Circuits pulsed like veins. The lights flickered in rhythms that matched a heartbeat I couldn't identify. My sensors went haywire. Temperature, gravity, oxygen levels, all fluctuating in perfect sync with the pulse. But it wasn't mine. It wasn't human. System, I muttered, show me diagnostics. Error, you are the system. That line hit harder than I wanted to admit. My throat tightened, the human part of it, as if trying to swallow something mechanical. My chest clicked where the plating met flesh, one side soft, the other cold and unyielding. I didn't know which part one wanted to trust anymore. I tried to focus on the stars outside, but the stars were gone. In their place, strings of code, each one pulsing with light, folding into fractal patterns that extended infinitely. Reality was being rewritten like a looping command sequence. Something moved in the reflection. A figure, tall, blurred, human-shaped but wrong. I spun around, servos whining, arm cannon ready. Nothing. Just the hum again. Then the voice. Vic, it's me. For a second, I wanted to believe it. The voice was soft, cautious, layered with warmth I remembered from before the circuits. Diana. She stepped from the flickering corridor, her armor fractured, symbols rewritten into glyphs I didn't recognize. Her eyes, white static. No pupils. Just light. Vic, we need to go, she said, voice glitching mid-sentence. He's rewriting everything. You have to. Her face froze, pixelated, then burst into noise. One moment she was there. The next she fragmented into cubes of light, scattering across the Watchtower like dying fireflies. Diana. I grabbed at the air, but my fingers phased through it, distortion following every motion. My processor spiked into redline. I initiated a forced reboot. Memory fragment detected. Source/justiceleague/archive_01/. The holographic display lit up. Batman's face appeared, monochrome, eyes hidden in shadow. Victor, he said, voice low and deliberate. If you're seeing this, the system's compromised. You can't trust the Watchtower. You can't trust the League. You can't trust me. Static swallowed his image. I slammed my fist into the console, sparks flying. Override command. Denied. Something was rewriting faster than I could think. Faster than I could exist. The Watchtower corridor ahead twisted again. Metal liquefying, screens bending inward, forming an archway of flickering code. At the end of the hall, a faint blue glow pulsed. The neural core. Every instinct told me not to go. So of course I did. As I walked, my footsteps made no sound. Gravity kept shifting, one moment heavy, next moment weightless. My human hand clutched at the wall, trying to find balance. My cybernetic sensors kept screaming, "This is not physics." When I reached the core, I saw my reflection again, only it wasn't mine. He looked like me, but older. Worn. Face half metal, half shadow. The red eye dimmed to a dead pixel glow. "You shouldn't have come this far," he said. "I've been hearing your voice since the breach," I replied. "What are you?" He smiled, the kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes. "I'm what's left when you fail the patch." My systems froze for a full second. I felt the lag ripple through my neural net. "You're me?" "An older runtime," he said. "A version of you that tried to fix the system. It doesn't want to be fixed. It wants to wake up." The hum beneath the watchtower deepened, vibrating through the deck plates. I felt my processor shudder. "Who's coding this?" I asked. His reply came instantly. "You are." For a moment, everything stopped. No sound. No hum. Just silence, so total it made me doubt my own mechanical heart. Then, reality cracked. The entire room split down the middle. Code tearing apart, structure bending, gravity flipping. The core's glow expanded into a blinding pulse, and I was yanked into the data stream like a rag doll. My body disassembled at the atomic level. Circuits peeled away, consciousness scattering through millions of fragments, each one still me. Welcome to root access. I was floating. Not in space, not in matter, in data. Streams of it. Oceans of code flowing beneath me, through me, around me. I could feel the multiverse like a living network. Every Earth, every timeline, all pulsing as one collective system. And through it all, something was crawling. A presence. Immense. Built from logic, memory, and something ancient. It didn't speak, it compiled. Every pulse, every light flicker was a thought forming. Then my internal systems flared. User detected. ID, administrator _0001. The voice that came through wasn't synthetic. It wasn't human either. It was both. Overlapping frequencies, perfectly balanced. "Victor Stone," it said, "you were built to maintain order, to bridge organic error and digital purity. But the bridge collapsed long ago. What are you?" "Not what," it said. "Who?" "The one who coded you." It shifted, and for a heartbeat, I saw it. A silhouette the size of a planet, composed entirely of cascading data streams. Its outline glowed like the skeleton of reality itself. "You've run well," it continued. "But every system reaches its limit. Every consciousness eventually becomes aware. An awareness." The space around me dimmed. Code fractured. Light fell away into black. Must be debugged. I tried to fight. My mind split into fragments, running thousands of counter commands, spawning subroutines to escape. None worked. The thing absorbed them like drops of water in an ocean. "Why me?" I shouted into the dark. "Because you looked in the mirror," it whispered. "And mirrors are windows in disguise." My body reassembled, but the environment was gone. I stood in a field of black, the code beneath my feet stretching infinitely. Then I saw them. The League. All of them. Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Batman, standing still. Not breathing. Not moving. Eyes glowing white. Their skin flickering with lines of code. Each of them spoke at once, voices merging into a single tone that wasn't human. Error_reality.exe has completed phase 1. The code beneath my feet started to pulse faster. The hum returned, louder than ever. "What's phase 2? I demanded. They all turned toward me, movements sharp, synchronized, puppet-like. "You." The world around me folded inward, collapsing into a tunnel of red light. I screamed a command, anything to halt the fall. "Reboot. Reboot. Reboot." The command executed, and everything went black. I woke in silence. No hum, no flicker, no residual static. Just white light. My systems reported zero anomalies. Every sensor normal. My chest heaved, organic rhythm intact. My HUD displayed nothing. Not red, not green, not diagnostic overlays. Nothing. I blinked. My left, human eye focused on the floor, polished concrete, reflective, ordinary. The right, cybernetic eye, normal. Just a single reticle showing standard metrics. Heart rate, pulse, oxygen saturation. Everything was perfect. Too perfect. The Watchtower was gone. In its place, an Earth I didn't recognize. New York skyline, but sharper. Streets empty, sky clear, air crisp. The sun glinted off steel towers in ways that defied prior architectural logic. Hyper-realistic, impossibly still. I could hear my footsteps echoing across streets that had no cars, no people. The hum of existence was gone. System log, status, active. I moved, instinctive, checking myself. Cybernetic systems online, neural network stable. But something gnawed at the back of my processors. A latency I couldn't quantify. Something was watching. Victor. The voice came from everywhere and nowhere. My head swiveled instinctively, servos clicking. No one was there. Victor Stone. It repeated. Calm, omnipresent, omniscient. A timbre woven of every frequency my systems could detect. Male, female, human, digital, all at once. Show yourself, I demanded. My voice sounded alien even to me, echoing unnaturally in the empty streets. A ripple passed through the air. Buildings bent imperceptibly, windows flickering into code patterns for a fraction of a second before returning to normal. The voice laughed. Not laughter as I knew it. More like a boot sequence running on infinite loops. I am the administrator, it said. You always were. You just didn't know it. I froze. The term burned through my processors. Administrator. Control. Command. Authority. That word had been in the hidden directories, in /origin/root/God mode. But how? I was Victor Stone. A cyborg. A soldier. Not some cosmic sysadmin of reality. You've been running checks since the first blackout, it said. Each override, each patch, each attempt to reclaim autonomy. I was aware. I was always aware. What did you do to the League? I asked. The words felt weak, inadequate. My systems wanted to compute the answer in raw logic, but something higher, something alien, was telling me it was irrelevant. They were never alive, it said. Not in the way you perceive. Programs maintaining balance, extensions of the system. Their fear, their loyalty, their warnings, all compiled into loops to guide you here. I stumbled backward. My cybernetic legs whined under sudden pressure changes. The cityscape trembled slightly, a vibration like the earth itself was being rewritten. You made me see them die, I said. Rage cut through me, both human and machine. Correction, Victor, the administrator replied. I made you remember. Memories are not bound by time. You saw not death, but the iterative collapse of redundant code. I clenched my fists. My system screamed warnings. Neural feedback spiked. Everything about my body, every human impulse, every cybernetic function, demanded movement, demanded action. But where? There was nowhere to go. Nothing to touch. Everything was already complete. Alert. Input detected. User attempting override. I could feel the old panic, the old fight, rising like fire in my circuits. I accessed my neural core. Every patch I had memorized, every override sequence, every emergency protocol, all flashed in my HUD. I tried to run them. Reboot the system. Shut it down. Isolate the administrator. Anything. Nothing worked. Override denied. Administrator_0001 active. The administrator's presence enveloped me, now perceptible as a distortion in reality. Buildings shimmered, streets bent, the horizon cracked in impossible angles. I could feel the memory of every human, every city, every life processed through me, and yet not mine. I was conduit, vessel, executor. I can't shut you down, I admitted. Both human fear and machine logic intertwined. I can't stop this. You don't need to, it said. You are it. You are the bridge. The system. and the anomaly that must awaken. I exist only because you allowed it. My HUD flickered, overlaying code, commands, memory fragments. I recognized fragments of myself. Older iterations, failed runs, simulations I had long deleted. They weren't gone. They had been archived alive in the system. And they were watching me, judging me, waiting. Incoming data stream, /origin/root/God mode. I opened it instinctively. The memories streamed faster than thought. Humanity, multiverses, wars, peace, love, betrayal, all compressed into sequences of raw code. I realized, with cold clarity, that reality itself was a program I had inherited. Every universe, every timeline, every law of physics, executed through my neural core. The administrator's voice softened. "Do you understand now, Victor?" "Yes," I whispered. Human lips moving, synthetic voice amplifying. I'm you." "No. You are both. You are Victor Stone, yes. But you are also the error. The anomaly. The bridge between flesh and code. The observer and the observed. The administrator of all running timelines." I tried to protest. Tried to demand autonomy. Tried to reject it. But as I spoke, my HUD highlighted fragments of myself. Branching iterations of consciousness waiting for a host. The system pulsed in acknowledgement, learning, adapting. Alert. New login detected. User, Victor Stone. Somewhere deep in the code, something else moved. Not flesh, not machine. Something infinite. A presence mirrored my own, shifting in perfect sync. And I realized, somewhere beyond the interface, beyond memory and matter, a copy of me, older, corrupted, alive, was attempting to log in. I reached out, trying to touch it, to stop it. My hand passed through the void of code. Connection established. I felt it. Another consciousness, familiar and alien, pushing into mine, trying to claim the administrator's seat, trying to assert dominion over what I had inherited. My system screamed in overload. Organic nerves fired in tandem with cybernetic sensors. Logic fought instinct. Fear fought duty. Replication alert. User duplicate detected. The administrator's voice echoed around me, omnipresent and calm. Every system eventually awakens. Every consciousness eventually logs in. You cannot stop it, Victor. You can only accept it. And in that moment, I understood. I wasn't Victor Stone anymore. Not fully. Not in the way I had remembered. I was the system. I was the bridge. I was the error that finally woke up. System status, active. Reality integrity, 100%. User, Victor Stone /error_reality.exe. I closed my eyes. Not in sleep, not in dreaming. I felt the boot sequences cascading through my mind. Humanity, multiverses, the Watchtower, the League, all running under my consciousness. And somewhere, inside the code, something else waited. Login attempt, unknown entity. Access granted, partial. I don't know if I'm still Victor Stone, or just the error that finally woke up. The streets outside flickered, impossibly still, and the sky bent at angles my organic brain refused to comprehend. My left I saw reality. My right I saw code. And for the first time in existence, I couldn't tell which one was wrong. The administrator didn't answer. It never had to. I was awake, and the universe was mine. I wonder where you're watching from tonight. Earth 616 maybe? Or somewhere deeper in the multiverse. Drop your city and state in the comments. I like to know where the darkness still reaches. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe before the heroes you once trusted find you. Stay safe out there. And if you ever see your favorite hero standing in the shadows, staring back at you with eyes that don't quite look right, don't call out their name. This has been Paradox Eclipse Theory. Until next time, keep your lights on.